Three-man band,
cool.
baby.
Three-man band. Isn't that what's his name?
Drew McIntyre.
No, McIntyre. He's the main event of WrestleMania. For now. Until they fuck him out of it.
Yeah, he's main eventing
Still
against
the main
Brock.
event.
Yeah.
But there's still like a month they can fuck him out of it. You think
Why would that?
they've done shit like that before, where they've like fucked people out of things.
I mean, I guess.
I think it would be really bad not to give Drew the title.
To give him the title?
To not give him the title, I think that would be a bad decision.
You think they're going to?
I don't know. But we've been on the podcast for a minute, guys. Just
You were supposed to tell us.
why would I tell? That's the gimmick.
I don't want any mainstream talk in here.
Yeah, it's okay.
Jesus.
Do you want me to restart?
Nah.
That's not our style.
Do it live. It's fine.
And then I lead into and welcome to the Backstage Boys.
You're taking my gimmick?
Leading you into it and reminding you.
But you're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to like let me find like a bridge word
Have a secret
to use in order to go into in time while I verify the episode number we're on.
What? I have a secret, Trent.
What?
I'm really stoned right now, so I apologize.
Well, speaking of apologizing, we should apologize to everybody for taking this long to say, welcome back, everybody, to the Backstage Boys podcast, episode number 57.
No.
This is Trent Loth, my co-host. Huh?
Not
59. Why did I say 57? I was literally looking at 59. Sorry. Why did I say 50? I'm literally looking at the web page. 59. This is Trent Loth, my co-host.
Basil.
And we are with
Nate.
That's your
Nate.
No, you say my name and then I say hello.
Oh yeah.
We got referee Nate.
I'm all off.
House.
There we go.
Hello.
Nate second. Hey, Nate's here. Damn, I am off. How did I literally was looking at the webpage.
It's the 8 restart your computer took for us to start this podcast at almost midnight.
Man, off. Totally off. It's a comedy.
Trent had to turn on his dial-up.
Yeah.
14. Sir, I need to unplug the phone so nobody would call while I'm trying to boot into the internet.
Mom, get off the phone. I'm on the internet. Remember those days? Are you guys too young for those days?
Hell yeah.
The 14.4 connection.
Are you on the phone?
Then randomly
check my email.
Shit. Trying to get my email. Like nobody's emailing you. A bunch of like shit you signed up for. Like what actual emails were you getting? Like that.
Thank you
like
for
that
using
one
our free internet disc for 60 days.
Yeah. 10,000 hours for free. America Online. I used to love those. Man, get those. I'm like, yeah. 10,000 online hours? Which at 14.4 was like nothing. It's like absolutely, it's like take forever to do anything. Damn,
Do you guys remember
those days.
you only had a password for like one thing?
Yeah.
MySpace?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, exactly. Dude.
They didn't even have like passwords for emails yet.
Now, how many passwords do you have? Like 48?
I have so many.
You know what sucks? It's like when you want to keep the same password for everything, but like there's certain websites that don't let you use the same criteria. And like, oh, you need to have exclamation points and characters on this website. And you're like, the fuck, man? How am I supposed to remember which website uses this now? And then you're all
dude. The most mind-fucking shit ever is at work. My passwords change every 3 months.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
And then I have two firewalls to get through, and each of them required 2 different types of passwords. I can't even make them the same because one has to be 12 characters. Like not 13, not 11. It has to be 12. So thinking up of a new password every 12 months that fits exactly 12 characters is a pain in the ass.
Oh, it sucks. It's the worst.
Because then what ends up happening is I type my old password for like a month and a half, and then, oh yeah, I changed it, and then when I change it again, I go through the same fucking cycle.
And then I don't write any of them
out.
down. I just lock them into like my phone, and then if I get a new phone, it's like, oh well, all those passwords are fucked.
No, that's the one thing I love about my iPhone is it changes over the passwords.
Oh, that's
It
good.
does.
When you get a new iPhone, if you use a iCloud keychain, it transfers all your passwords over, and it's amazing.
I want to leave all
So-
my passwords in the cloud.
Yeah, whatever.
Damn. Can't trust those clouds, man. There's always the hacks. People want to hack your
Hey,
shit.
Trent,
Yeah.
Watching.
I got a spoiler alert.
Well,
Wrestling podcast.
we are a wrestling podcast, and we're about to do a little review of Warrior Wrestling 8.
Half
And then we're going to touch on a quick AEW preview at the end just to kind of tap it up. Our previews don't do great, guys. I'm going to put that on the pod.
Shit.
The listeners
Okay.
don't like the previews. No, they don't like the previews.
stupid. Me and
love
Nate
it.
were talking about this actually when
love-
you were rebooting in the 1964.
Yes.
Because
Bad.
we're like, the thing is with previews, they don't it doesn't fit the gimmick, man.
They don't get the skips.
That's true. And like we're sitting there kayfabing on previews. Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, we work there. What are we kayfabing?
No,
We have
no
to
more
talk about
previews.
they want the inside show. No more previews. We're done with previews.
Previews are
I'm off on
stupid.
previews. All right. Yeah, because it's like I noticed from the last one, New Dawn preview tanked. New Dawn review, one of the highest rated, highest listened. Go for it. So we know what people want. We're not going to waste your time with just do review. But this is a review. We're talking Warrior Wrestling 8. I wasn't there. You guys were there. So we're going to get the review from the guys on the side. Nate, before we start, I want to know how many matches you recommend this one.
I did 3.
There were a total of 8 matches, right?
9.
Wasn't it?
9. I think there was a dark match.
Well, no, 9.
Wait, are you counting the dark?
No. It was 9 on the main card, 10 with the dark match.
Should have been 8 matches. Warrior Wrestling 8 would have been awesome. 8
Yeah.
would have been perfect. But anyway, all right.
I mean,
We're gonna talk about Nate's got 3.
technically, we had 13 matches with the war of attritions.
Oh,
It's true.
Jesus. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, because they're like, like how many in each?
There are
There's
3.
3.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
3
All right.
matches, 3 falls, and they're about 40 to 50 minutes each.
Holy shit, are you serious? That's a
Yeah.
long match. And
You
there
were,
was 2 of them.
weren't you at Warrior 2 with the original War of Attrition?
I was. I think it's a good idea. I do think it's a fresh concept. That's why I do like that. But it's a long match though, huh? And so definitely, I mean, and we'll get to it in a second. But all right, let's talk, boys. Let's discuss Warrior Wrestling here. What do we open with? You want to talk about the dark? What was the dark? We don't have
It was. I honestly don't know what the dark match was.
The dark match was, there were Ring of Honor dojo students, Joe Keys and Dante Caballero. And then it was a tag match, those two against. So I'm not sure who this gentleman is. He might also be a Ring of Honor dojo student. I'm not entirely sure. I think his name is just Icon.
Icon.
Yeah.
And
that was the guy with the crazy contacts.
Yeah. And he teamed with a gentleman named Jack Griffin, who we've seen on shows before. Riley McGuire, who, what I gather, has sold his soul to the devil, and has apparently changed his name. So yeah, that was that team.
Wow, Nate, how do you keep track of all this stuff? It's
I don't know.
fantastic.
It's a good question.
I don't know. Yeah, what you do?
I don't know.
Do you
I'm
take
trying to find
ginkgo?
the times on this.
Do you take ginkgo biloba for your good memory?
No, I should though.
No, but you already have a good memory. You don't need to take it.
Oh, but then I'd have even better memory.
He'd have super memory.
Imagine what Nate could remember if he took ginkgo biloba. Holy
But
shit!
what would happen to his brain if he got off of it?
Does that help with memory?
Yeah, it's a memory. It's a memory. It's a natural memory. Like it's an herbal.
It's a brain
supplement.
booster.
Yeah, it's an herbal supplement. It's herbal though. It's a Korean. It's a Korean based herbal supplement for memory. I should take that.
I guess.
It's got a great name though.
I think I
Ginkgo
need that
biloba.
shit.
Then you can stop repeating yourself on your podcast.
Son of a bitch! I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
That's all the air getting sucked out of the room, guys.
Jesus.
Guys, cage match doesn't have the times for this show, but the women's match I think went over 30 minutes.
And then the men's match was 55.
Was it 55 total?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, an hour? What is this, Flair and Steamboat? Come on. All right, let's talk, boys. We opened up singles match El Barbaro Cavernario versus
The Barbarian Caveman in English.
Oh, okay. Versus Templario.
Yeah.
He beats Templario. What is Templario in English? Temple?
Temple.
Temple guy? Temple guy?
Temple. Temple man.
Temple
I
man?
don't think this is right.
No? Well, what's not right? What's right?
Well, Elbow Mario is definitely the Barbarian Caveman in English.
Yeah.
And he looks like a barbarian
He
caveman.
came out with fucking Fred Flintstone shit on.
He
What?
did.
Yeah,
Are
it
you
was pretty
serious?
dope. Yeah, it was fucking dope.
That's weird.
So I don't admittedly know much about him. I know he is one of the marquee guys on WrestleCon coming up in April.
Really?
He's been announced for a couple of their events. I don't know off the top. I think it might be the Super Show, but definitely some of the other events that they have. But he's a CMLL guy, and he's done stuff with the Crash, Lucha, a bit of Ring of Honor work, Rev Pro, New Japan. I think he's done the Fantastica Mania shows that they have.
That's a cool name. Fantastica Mania.
Oh yeah, they do it every year in after Wrestle Kingdom. They just bring over a bunch of lucha guys, and
Interesting.
some of their guys take a break and they spotlight the lucha guys.
Oh, cool. All right. What you talking about? Talking about Cavernario or Templario?
I was talking about Cavernario.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
How did you? What? Yeah, just point out the ones you reffed. Let me know which ones you're reffing. Then we'll get your bird's eye view of the ones you
I won't
reffed.
do that. I did not ref this one.
They're not. Okay, cool. All right.
I was ringside.
How was this one? What do you? I mean, we're always looking for the next lucha stars. Everybody wants the next lucha star after the void left by the Lucha Brothers on the independents.
I like Templario's look
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, I dig his look a lot. Like I want to get promo pictures of that guy. Still mad that I haven't yet because I don't know what these guys look like without masks sometimes. So.
Wait, why did you not get promos on this one? Because wasn't everybody taking promos, or you're not doing promos at all?
No, I was doing I had so many promos. Like I was literally running back and forth between these matches, like in the middle of the matches, getting promos, running back out, and finishing pictures for the match.
Hmm. Do you find a lot of these? Go ahead, Nate.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say he's deceptively big.
He is. That is correct.
Templario? Really?
Templario, yeah.
He's quite large, but he moves around, and flies through the air, and you wouldn't expect him to do that. Cavernario too, really.
Yeah, they both had a really good textbook luchador match. I think it was good for the crowd to have an all lucha match because of the fan base that's in the area.
It's like a such a I don't say untapped market, but like, can you imagine like what MLW did, right? When they came to Cicero and they really went lucha heavy. I mean, they got that crowd. That crowd has shown that they will come out to support lucha wrestling. I mean, the Mexican audience really wants to see authentic to them. They will show up, especially if you keep the tickets fairly priced too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Impact figured that out too with Bound for Glory.
Yeah, when they brought in all the guys from AAA.
Were the noisemakers at the show too? Like the
No,
drum
there
people,
was
the drum guys?
no, they weren't out like they used to be.
Yeah, Ross Foreman loved the drum people. He was like, I gotta get those people at Bound for Glory. I need them there. I'm like, shit, but dude, they came in rolling heavy to Bound for Glory though.
Oh my God,
Like, they walked in with those drums,
drum line.
That was intense. They were intense at the Last Warrior when I went to. It's nice. It's nice to have the noise in the crowd.
Go to a Gali show.
Oh, I can imagine. Shit, that's great. Yeah, I bet that's nuts. All right, next one, guys. Robert Anthony with Frank the Clown taking on Warhorse. This seems like it's a Chicago special. These guys have a little decent fall in a couple different promotions, and Warhorse is making a lot of noise lately.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Nate, what did you think about this? Nate, did you get to watch these or what?
I didn't get to watch all of them, but I do always make it a point to see at least a little bit of every match on a show.
You come out to watch, or are you watching on the monitor in the back?
I peek through the curtain. So I have a list of every show that I've ever been to, and like every talent that I've seen on every show. And so I imagine there will be a day where I won't be able to do this, but as long as I am able to, I like to watch as much as I can. And then because if I remember specifically, there was a Warrior show that had Sammy Guevara versus DJ Z on it. And I ended up getting locked in conversation with people in the back and wasn't able to make it out there to watch that match. And so I have the other matches on that card listed on my spreadsheet, except that match, because I watched it on the TV while I was having conversations in the back, but I didn't actually go out and physically see it with my own eyes. So I always like to make sure that I can watch as much as I can.
Do you guys feel bad when you miss out on a match like live, like because you're it's an attraction match and you didn't get to watch it? Do you like? I was at the Last Warrior and I was watching a bunch on the monitor in the back. I'm like, well, I'm not working this show. I can just go out and watch these matches because it's kind of, I don't know, why do you? I don't know. I just felt like why are these people back here watching this? Like even like the unicorns are point or Jonathan was back there and like a bunch of talent and then a bunch of friends watch this and, like to his face was in the back with me. I'm like, I said to Chris, I'm like, let's go watch this. Let's consider it in the bleachers or something, because it just felt weird to just watch it on the monitors. I don't know. I mean, do you guys feel it's because we work in the business and it's like we're around it so much that we don't kind of put that importance of witnessing the live aspect of it sometimes, and it's like good enough to see it on screen? Nate, what do you think?
Well, for me, like I always, if somebody were to tell me, like, hey, you're not needed here right now, go out and watch as much of the show as you want, then I'm going to do that. But if I'm out there and I'm peeking through the curtain and I'm like, somebody might need me for something right now, so I'm going to watch the next 5 seconds of this, and then I'm going to run back and see if anybody needs anything, and then I'm going to go back out and watch as much as I can for 2 minutes, and then run back and see if anybody needs anything. So that's where my brain is.
Basil, for you, it's different though, because like you have to be ringside. Like your job is to watch. Like
this is very true.
Yes. But do you feel you get to enjoy it though? Like, are you getting a chance to actually soak in the matches, or are you just watching completely Like through the lens, basically. Do you actually get to soak in the match, or are you just watching through the lens and you don't really get to feel the full effect of them?
No, I think I do because I just like we've had many conversations about how I felt about a match. My brain my brain thinks twice during a match. Like I think about the pacing of the match, how good it is, all that stuff. I think about did somebody else in another match do this, or was that spot like I think of it like in that fan perspective still. And then the other side of my brain is while all this is going on is trying to predict the spot that they're going for, so I'm ready for it. So it's like yeah, so it's like I know certain people's movements and I know when they're setting up. So like that's why you'll see me move before a move happens. Like you'll see me move around the ring before a move happens because I know what spot's coming up. But
do you feel it takes away from it though? Like
no,
like you're almost predicting the match. Like you don't get that spontaneity anymore. Then
no, I mean I still
like to know.
I still will get them. I think that I've kind of always had that feeling of like knowing certain spots because we would always like me and my friends would always kind of play a game and to see how many spots I could guess. Because I used to do at Squared Circle, I used to do that a lot. I used to be like, "Oh, this move's coming up." That's so like I've kind of always thought like that, but now it just
doesn't that take away from it though?
No,
like that, Nate. What do you think? It's like they takes away from it a little bit. Like you're predicting. You don't get to watch it as you're predicting.
Yeah, it's
where's the spontaneity in that? That's what I'm saying.
It still happens, like because I'm not right. Even right now, obviously, I'm not right 100% of the time. So
Nate, what
there'll still be some stuff that shocks me. I feel like I've watched wrestling so long, and I've watched certain guys for so long that like I know certain move sets that they're gonna hit, and that was always even from before I was a photographer.
I want Nate's take on this though. Like I know Nate will look at this from a different eye as well. Like what do you think, man? I just feel like it. If you know too much, it's like you don't get to enjoy it. You're too busy predicting. What do you say?
Yeah, it's weird. Like I feel like I can kind of turn it on and off sometimes. Where it's like
I don't know. Like sometimes I'll be like, I want to watch just as a fan, and then I'll watch just as a fan. And then other times I'm like, and sometimes it might be unavoidable. Like I'll watch something and it will be like,
there will be something that triggers me and be like, oh, okay, I'm taken out of it now.
But like, I watch it and I'm like, there will be some stuff I'm, sort of critical of, and then there are other times where it's like, no, I'm just a fan and I'm just watching as a fan. I don't know. I can't really explain it.
Yeah, so it's tricky. It's a tricky spot, guys. I think that it comes from, but all right, keep going here. Alex Shelley defeated Ren Narita. This was supposed to be Amazing Red, right? From what I understand, Basil, you were telling me originally scheduled. Maybe everybody misread it, and it was Ren the whole time, and not Red.
Horrible.
Wait, maybe it was.
Boo. They're not saying boo. They're saying
red?
Boo Earns.
Boo Earns. Boo Earns. Great line. It's like one of the best Simpsons lines.
Hopefully the guy can come and set up my internet tomorrow because I just want to watch Simpsons on Disney Plus all day.
But Nate, what do you have? Have you not reffed up to this point, or did you do this match?
Huh?
We're in match 3 now. We're coming up on match 3. Did you not ref anything yet, or did you have?
No, Trent, we're talking about The Simpsons right now.
Please.
I'm talking about the show. We have
no. I did not ref this yet.
Where did you come in? What's your first one?
The Rascalz.
Okay, all right. All right, we'll go back to Simpsons talk. That's fine. Burns, you were saying.
The episode where Homer walks past a gym and he goes, "Gime? What's a gime?" And then he walks inside and he sees everybody working out and he goes, "Oh, a gime."
Well, okay, hold on. One more Homer line. This is so he goes, what was the doctor's name? The black doctor?
Dr. Hibbert.
So he goes to Dr. Hibbert, and then he goes, "Homer, your gravy levels are off the chart." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm drinking my 8 cups of gravy a day." Like, how do you have a gravy level? How do you have a gravy level to begin with? Like, what kind of doctor are you?
It's Dr. Well, there's both doctors are quacks on that show.
Yeah.
Dr. Nick Riviera.
Yep.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
One of my favorite lines of all time in that show. It's so silly, but he's Homer. They're like, for some reason he's parachuting and then he gets lost and he ends up in like the Hollywood Hills and he's hanging out with like Kim Basinger and everybody. And so they're talking about the Gersh agency or whatever. And he's just eating this muffin and then he like leaves them and he comes back to his family and Marge is like, "Where'd you get that muffin?" And he goes, "Gersh agency." Like it's nothing. Like she should know what he's talking about.
I like a lot of these like really random things on The Simpsons, like not even like punchlines. But there was just one that opened up with him going, he's like driving on the highway and he's like, "It's new billboard day." And he like reads like a couple of punny billboards. And then gets the last one, he's like, "Clown college." That's not funny at all. Like just the way, like it's not meant to be a punchline, really. Just the way he goes, "Clown college." I find like there's so many random lines like that. I gotta share one more, then we'll move on. But there's one where I think he's in hanging out with when he changes his name to Max Power, right?
Max Powers.
And so he's hanging out with all these like elites, these like Hollywood elites with like strong names, and they like the camera pans to him and like when he's like about to deliver the punchline of a bad joke, and the punchline is, "So I said, if this is the house of pancakes, how come I can't eat the walls?" And everybody's like, "Oh, Homer, you are too," or Max, "You are too much." I used
to look forward to the Treehouse of Horror one so much every Halloween.
It's so good, man.
No TV and beer make Homer something.
Yeah.
Should we start a Simpsons podcast, guys?
We should start a Simpsons. Let's review. We'll start with episode 1 next week, guys.
I will talk endlessly about
the Japanese light bulb commercial.
Oh my god, it is fantastic. Fantastic. I'm serious. Like we'd probably do amazing ratings because
just reviewing every episode, dude. There's like there has to be at least like 1,000 episodes of that show.
At least there's another. Speaking of ratings,
that's your homework. How many episodes of The Simpsons were there?
Are there? It's still going.
Whatever.
They're still going. There's a great line.
Siri, how many episodes of The Simpsons are there?
Oh, that's fine.
Here's The Simpsons.
Oh.
Family life for The Simpsons is a chaotic blend of cheeky.
Oh, you bitch!
Son of a.
Supposed to tell us.
I said how many episodes? Hold on. I'm just gonna have to type into Google.
No.
Yeah, you hate that word.
While you're doing that,
Siri, talk to me about Alex Shelley versus Ren Narita.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's Wait, there's a Krusty the Clown line that I used constantly. I forgot what the context was. But I just remember him going, "Think of the ratings," and like it was like pitching some really random thing. It's like, "Think of the ratings," and literally use that to the. Think of the ratings.
713 episodes at the end of the season.
713.
Jesus
You
Christ.
can do the show for years. It's a lot.
You can do the show for the next
Episodes.
25 years at the rate that we do shows at.
It's true.
Holy shit, guys. All right, we're
All
starting
right,
next.
Alex
episode
Shelley
podcast.
versus Ren Narita.
All right, versus not Amazing Red. All right, how was no? So who is Ren Narita? Give me some background. Nate, you're the dictionary here. Who is Ren Narita?
So Ren Narita is from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He is a young lion. The idea of the young lions is they train at the dojo, and they do like the laundry and they cook the meals for a lot of the other wrestlers, and they learn the business kind of the old school way, and then they'll work a lot of the pre-show matches or the opening matches with like just each other, or sometimes established talent. Their moveset is limited. There's only a number of things that they are allowed to do. They just dress in black trunks, and they have no gimmick. They have no identity, really. They have a name, but they don't have like a character or anything. And they're almost always losing. And then they'll when the time is right, they go on excursion. And so sometimes they get sent to England, sometimes they get sent to Mexico, sometimes they get sent to the United States. And Ren Narita is doing his excursion in the United States. He's currently based in LA. I think he continues to train now at their LA dojo that New Japan has. But he came to wrestle at Warrior.
This is fascinating. I've always heard about all these things happening. Like that they do the excursion, the young boys, they clean the dojo. They have like they're the protege to a star. But I never knew like this is a formalized. This is what you're telling me. This is actually a formal system that you wear black trunks, you lose, you have no character.
Even
Wow.
even people like Naoto and Nakamura, they've all gone through that.
So I never knew this like if this was a formal process. Like, I knew they did all that. Like I knew that was a thing. I just thought I was like I never knew that that's like you're following a preset system here. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Cool.
a young lion from the LA dojo, Carl Fredericks. Watch out for him. Like that dude is gonna be like a big star for New Japan.
Now Ren here, he's how old? Like how what's the average age on these young lions?
It depends. Like,
Ren is 22 years old.
Okay, so super young.
God, he was born in 97.
Yeah, so
Fuck.
a lot of them
will be really, really young. But like I remember too, like Juice Robinson, when he left WWE, he I think moved to Japan, and he went through
their system.
But he was obviously older at the time than 22.
Oh yeah, he was, and I thought, and I should have known this because I know he wrestled for AAW early. But Juice is from like Joliet or some shit. Like he's from here. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember early days when he was wrestling in AAW, but when he came back for that brief little run. So is he full time? By the way, just side note, is he full time with New Japan now? Juice?
Oh yeah, he's been for a minute. And then when he came in, they wanted to put him they just wanted to put him on TV right away. He's like, "No, I want to do the young lion shit. Like I wanted to be the security guard. I want to do everything properly."
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've always heard about the young lads. They always go. I mean, a lot of the main, like you guys mentioned, Naito, a lot of the main stars, like they all did this.
If you started out New Japan, like if you didn't come from All Japan or Big Japan or anything, you went through their dojo system, and you went through the Young Lion system.
Fair.
Tama went through that system too. Tama Tonga.
Yeah,
Really?
and I think it's interesting because you look at somebody like Okada, and you can't say, like, even after they re-debut, you can't be like, oh, this person has an undefeated streak, because every single one of them have been beaten.
Yep.
But they consider two different lives, essentially, right? Like, it's like two different universes.
They'll
never bring up the other one, but at the same time,
Right.
you can't ignore that the other one existed and just say, oh, all of a sudden Okada's undefeated.
Well, they do that because it's also not that you got to remember that wrestlers not to their full potential because they don't get to use their full moveset, like you said. They don't do many promos. A lot of them are put into weird tag matches. Well, mainly when they wrestle main roster guys, it's mainly two young lions against two of the main roster guys and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily a tag team. It's just two young lions put together in a tag.
Right.
Interesting.
So it's not the same
So how
advantage of when you're on the main roster and you get to choose your own path, choose your own moves, choose how you want to work from what you've learned. So that's why I don't mind it that they talk if somebody's undefeated or whatnot. So
Gotcha. So how is Ren? What do you guys feel for this kid? Good future ahead? I mean, Alex Shelley must have taken him to town, I'm sure, but
it was a fantastic match.
Do you think this kid has something? Really?
Oh,
I do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Shelley's on this comeback
He'll be a
tour, right?
very strong contender in the junior heavyweight division for sure.
So now when he's done with his tour, let me ask, so he does this tour. Now when he goes back to Japan, he's the main roster guy immediately, Nate? Like, is that's what we do?
Yeah. Obviously it depends on what they do with him, but when Okada came back from his excursion, he immediately challenged Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom and almost immediately took the title away. And Hiromu Takahashi, when he came back, he was almost thrust into the top junior heavyweight scene. And it doesn't always happen like that. It just depends on if you have something. And it just depends because it looks like Ren doesn't have any sort of character built up yet. And he's still wrestling in black trunks. So I don't know how, in excursions, there's no set time. It's not like you go for 6 months and then you're done. It's just as long as it takes you to figure things out. And sometimes I think they can shift where you are. If they feel like maybe you're spinning your wheels, then they might take you out of the United States and put you in Mexico. They can pretty much do whatever they want.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fast. I had no idea. That's how that it was so formalized. All right, cool. All right, now this match. This is yours, Nate. 6-man tag. This was an attraction now, from what I understand. Strongheart, CIMA, is it Lindaman?
Yes.
And T-Hawk defeating the Rascalz. That's Trey and Wentz. Now this is another dream match, I'm sure, for the Rascalz. All right.
They actually trained with the Stronghearts.
Right in the mix of this one.
They actually trained with the Stronghearts
in
Japan. Yeah.
Okay.
So they have a really good relationship with them.
I don't think all of them did.
CIMA did for sure.
No. I don't think. I want to say it was only 2 out of the 3 Rascalz.
It was Dez and Wentz for sure because they did that when they were just a tag team before Trey was joined with them at Impact.
That sounds right.
Okay. All right, cool. So, all right, Nate, let's hear it. This was an attraction match. I know this one had a lot of buzz. This is the one I heard the most out of anything. There wasn't a terrible amount of buzz going on online, but this one got the most attention from what I can gather. So, what do you think? Give me I mean, it looked pretty much like what I expect. A lot of, I don't want to say choreographed, but a lot of operative flow, I guess you can call it. But was that basically that's the attraction, right? Am I wrong? That's kind of the attraction of just the athleticism of it all. What do you think about it?
I would say so, yeah.
But that's like, and that's what people expect going into this, right? Like they're watching this and they're like, we just want to see a display of like essentially athleticism and not necessarily conflict, but just wow us with a bunch of moves, in a sense.
Right. Yeah.
I
like it? I mean,
I
these guys are all
enjoyed it.
fast. Yeah.
From my perspective, it was there was some really good high spots that were different. Like it was like that Nate, was it like that code breaker that Lindaman hit? Like
Oh, man.
top rope, like it was almost like Doomsday style setup, and
Yeah, I thought
Lindaman went off the top rope and hit like a code breaker.
Yeah, they
And-
crushed Trey in half.
Oh, it was so good. And then Dez got this like
Jesus.
crazy chop from CIMA. Took his soul
Really?
out.
Took his soul out.
Oh, his soul
You
was
could
so
literally
out.
see Dez's soul.
His soul belongs to that Catholic high school now. Like it's staying there. It's converting. Like that's like the soul is living there now.
Yeah.
Well, if it's gonna happen anywhere, I guess it's good to happen in a Catholic high school. Nate, I want to, like, from a referee's point of view, how hard is it to keep order in these matches, or is it not?
It's so I would argue that it is difficult if that's what you like feel you want or need to do. The thing about this type of match is, like, going into it, you look at it and you know what these guys are going to do. So it behooves you to just kind of let them do it. As long as they're not bringing in weapons or anything like that, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. The one thing that really troubled me, and I didn't realize it at the time, but going back and looking at pictures and clips, was like I was young. There was one point I was yelling at the Rascalz, and they weren't staying in the corner, and they kept not listening to me. But then I realized, and I kept, like, I felt a hand on my back, and I kept brushing it away while I was yelling at the Rascalz, and it was Lindaman just trying to hold me in place while the other two were doubling up on, I think it was Dez in the corner, and so that I wasn't pleased with. But at the same time, again, like, if they're not, just running around with chairs and trash cans and everything, it's better for you if you just kind of let it go.
All right, fair enough. But overall, fun. I assume you enjoyed it.
I always
being in the mix of it. I get it. You're always good. Very nice.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean,
So Strong Hearts win.
Like, CIMA's a legend, you know. So
CIMA is, yeah.
CIMA's awesome.
CIMA at Dragon Gate.
Yep.
Did he not get signed somewhere at some point? Am I imagining that? Wasn't he in a developmental, or am I totally off on that?
I don't know. He had a dark match. But I don't know that he was
okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But
okay.
they're signed up to AEW right now.
Oh, they are, okay.
Yeah, they are with AEW.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, here's an attraction one. Bully Ray and Brian Pillman. This one I saw, like, they built on their own. They were kind of doing some build. I saw Bully cutting promos and stuff. It was interesting to see Bully Ray here. Now, before I get into this, is kind of like loose Ring of Honor working agreement with Warrior, or is this just these guys get to do outside bookings when they can? Because I know Ring of Honor at one time was like super tight on their guys working anywhere else. Basil, you probably know more about this. Like, are they loosening up on that, or is that
it's
like,
if you're not
freedom?
exclusive, so there's certain people within the company right now that do wrestle that are not exclusive. Technically, Marty is not under exclusive if he's wrestling for NWA. Jeff Cobb is currently month to month or just show to show, whatever. Jonathan Gresham has not ever had an exclusive contract, or recently has not had an exclusive contract with them. So if you just are month to month, then you're allowed to wrestle wherever, but it's only when you're in that exclusive contract is when you cannot work anywhere else. Like they let you work PWG because they don't go to Florida, and then they let you work internationally, which is why you see
California, right?
Yeah, California. And then that's why you see them that's why you see all the ROH guys go to World Series of Wrestling, I believe it's called, in Australia. You see them all go on that tour. They'll do Canada, so you'll see them do like Smash or Alpha One or Destiny, whatever's up there. And then Mexico and UK. But it's crazy because Destiny is weird because they get a lot of the WWE UK guys that wrestle there. Pete Dunne was WWE UK champion while he was up there. So, and then
interesting.
Yeah, and then Mustache Mountain's on their next show. So it's kind of interesting to see that.
The other thing too, I'll say, I think there's something to Ring of Honor guys like the dojo, the Future of Honor students
being in the pre-show match at Warrior.
I think that was more
Gresham, there's something to that?
Because Gresham's the one who runs the school.
Right.
So I think that's more Gresham. My guess, and this is obvious, I legit have no idea. My guess is when Gresham got booked, said, "Hey, can I bring some guys? They can work a pre-show," kind of like what Elgin has been doing with his boys. So I kind of think it's somewhere along the same lines, and it's a pre-show match, and then they get to learn and be around John at a real show. So,
gotcha. Okay, interesting. I mean, Bully's booking Ring of Honor, isn't he? Or did I hear that wrong? 'Cause I thought he's either head booker now, or he's booking alongside Delirious, or what?
Well, I think the new booker now is Marty. I think the new booker now is with Marty. I don't know if it is with or without Delirious.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't heard anything formal. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not there. I don't think Delirious is gone. Obviously, what people are reading is that Marty is mostly in charge, and I think Bully was in charge of Women of Honor, but now I think Gresham is.
I think they're dropping the Women of Honor name because I saw an advertisement that said ROH Women's Championship.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing because Kelly Klein was the champion, and then obviously when you release your champion, you have no champion. So I think they did like a reset for the division.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Ring of Honor in a reset in general in a lot of ways too, from what I understand. So they're trying a lot of new things, and I mean, they're giving away pay-per-views recently and stuff too. Like that was a thing. So yeah,
they're making a lot of really
trying to do some fresh shit. I saw, and I think they needed it. Like they desperately needed something again because like they had lost so much of their identity recently. So I think a good thing is some of their guys showing up to shows like this, to Warrior and stuff. It ultimately benefits them to get that extra exposure from their guys. All right, cool. Let's keep moving on, boys.
Well,
now, first War Attrition match.
Real quick, we should talk about the match just a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I didn't get to see all of it, but from what I saw, it looked like it was based on respect.
And they ended up
cutting a promo before the match started, turning it into, I think, a tables match.
And so Bully puts Pillman through a table, but on the mic afterwards said that if Pillman can stand up on his own 2 feet, Bully will shake his hand, and Pillman was able to stand, and so Bully shook his hand.
Oh, he actually did. He didn't put him through another table after that, and not in typical wrestling fashion.
No.
I was going to say, big fucking surprise that this was a tables match for Bully Ray. Big surprise that we went table Bully Ray.
Really quick, I don't mean to backtrack too much, but I went on the Women of Honor Twitter, and the handle is still Women of Honor, but the name, they got rid of the Women of Honor logo. It's just the ROH logo, and it says ROH Women's Division.
Well, there you go. It could be your answer. I mean, they needed to freshen things up, and that could be part of it.
Yeah.
So good for its first war of attrition, first of 2 main events here. Champion Tessa Blanchard defending against, all right, let's see, Big Swole, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Kylie Ray,
she's a
Madison
dentist.
Rain, Ray Lynn, Ray Lynn, Tasha Steeles, and Taya Valkyrie. Some big names in here now. I mean, you got TV names, you got locals, and you got a couple of ones who aren't commonly over here. So, all right, Nate, did you ref this one?
I did.
I'd love to know if you refed it. All right, cool. I wanted you to. I was hoping you refed one of the war attritions. Okay, cool. Here's what I have now. First fall. Now, actually, if we over again one more time. Let me make sure I got this clear. And for anybody listening, go. What are the rules now?
So it starts out with 8. They're split into 2 4-women teams.
Okay.
The winning team, the losing team gets eliminated. So they're gone. They're sent to the back. The 4 ladies that remain turn into a tag team match. The woman who picked up the fall in the 8-women tag gets to pick her partner for the tag team match. The winners of that tag team match continue on into a singles. The losing tag team is eliminated. They're sent to the back, and the 2 women who won the tag team match face off in a singles.
This is a very interesting concept. It's very different.
I agree.
Now, did they come up with it? Is this a Steve and Eric and is this a Warrior original?
This is a Steve. Yeah.
All right. This is very unique. I mean, and to hear it again is kind of interesting too. All right. So the first one was Britt Baker, Madison Rain, Ty, and Tessa beat Big Swole, Kylie, Raylan, and Tasha Steeles. So that you're 4 off. So so how long was that first fall though? Because I'm curious how long they keep eight visible in this match before you get rid of 8.
I think that was about 15. That part.
15 minutes. Okay. Because I'm curious how long they keep half the participants around, and I figure 15 is a good amount of time. That sounds like a good amount of time for people to invest in and kind of get a feel for what they're doing and stuff. Okay, cool. So yeah, that first one happens. So now then you turn that into the tag team match. Taya and Tessa. So who got the pins? Was it Tessa or Taya who got the pin on that last one?
It was actually Britt Baker made Raylan tap out.
Britt Baker made Raylan tap out. She chooses Madison Rain as her tag partner against Taya and Tessa.
Yes.
Taya and Tessa win. How long did that go for, roughly?
About 10, I want to say.
Maybe.
All right,
because I feel like the whole match was, what was it, 30, 35?
Probably 35.
I think that was 35 because I think it was 15, 10, and 10.
Okay. That's good. I mean, that's you definitely need all that time to build something like this. This is not a quick match by any means, so that makes sense. All right, then the final. So then they go off into the one-on-one. Tessa ends up retaining against Taya. Now, this is kind of interesting because they've been teasing this on Impact also. Do you guys think or know? I mean, you don't have to say if you know for sure, but is it almost like they're kind of warming up for something coming down the line on TV? And if that's the case, and these two have fought before, but at this stage in their careers, how was the match? Was the chemistry there for them to you kind of look at it like, oh, I would like to see more of this because they seem to have that fire. I'm gonna start with Nate because you were in there. What did you think of the one-on-one, the final?
I thought it was good. I would have liked for them to have listened to me a little bit more.
Let's talk about that. Yeah,
have a little less fighting on the outside. But the stakes were very high, and after everything that, the length of time and that it getting down to just the two of them, I understand emotion is there. But in terms of them possibly facing off in Impact for the World Championship you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, like this was essentially almost a preview of that. I mean, these two have fought before on Impact,
I would love to see that.
Yeah, it's like they've gone through, bigger stages in their career. This is almost a preview in a sense. And I wonder how that would come off for them on TV. So that's cool. I'm a big stickler on matches with stakes, matches with real amplification because of stakes involved. This being what it was, there's so many people involved, and there's these 3 stages to this match. Do you feel like Tessa and Taya, and Basil, you can tell me too, based on your view, did these two Tessa's very intense as it is, but can you see that moment in this match where they kind of really turned it up for this final? Do you feel they put more into the final one-on-one, or did they gradually slow down? Or did they amp up or slow down? Is what I'm trying to get at.
If you don't mind, Basil, I can actually answer this question.
Take it.
There was a moment Tessa hit 2 Canadian destroyers, one right after the other, and everybody in the building thought it was over. My hand actually hit 3 on the mat.
Oh shit! Okay,
but I Taya did kick out right at the last possible second.
Nate got excited.
No, it was there's quite often because I'm looking right at their shoulders, right at the mat, and I will see it before my hand hits, so I can pull it away and my hand doesn't hit. It was the last possible second, and I know obviously physically when my hand hits the mat, and her shoulder came off right before it hit the mat. So the fans heard me hit the mat, thought it was over. I waved it off. I said it wasn't over, and they continued.
And so it was a good recovery too, because the fans, there was a slight upset about it. But the fans
what's the reaction? The fans boo.
It wasn't too bad, honestly, because the crowd was very split between them. So it wasn't too bad. And then maybe about 10 or 15 seconds after that spot, the fans were chanting, "This is awesome." So they were obviously happy that the match continued.
Yeah. And it continued at almost the same rate of speed. So,
Oh wow. Nate, I imagine as a referee that has to be a nerve-wracking thing to make sure. Obviously, not fucking up a count is nerve-wracking enough, but in a match with that much intensity and where you just happen to be last possible second, what goes through your head at that moment? Oh fuck! Did I fuck up? Did I piss people off? Does that go through your mind, or just whatever? It is what it is. I'll wave it off.
Well, honestly, in that particular moment, my main concern was making sure that everybody that needed to know knew that the match was continuing.
Gotcha.
The timekeeper, the person ringing the bell, just making sure that everybody understood that it wasn't over.
And you have to be quick with that response, so people don't assume the 3 and just start ringing the bell. You have to be super quick, right? And let them no, it's not. Gotcha. Interesting. Cool. I don't want to say stars, but like where you guys, I mean, as far as this match goes, it's a pretty, I mean, it's star power in this. It's, where would you rank a match like this? I don't want to say star rating, but like, I mean, would you say this was an excellent match? Was it like, was it just everything was hitting on all cylinders? Was it just an awesome fucking match? Or was it like, it's pretty good? Whatever. Or was it passable? I guess what I'm getting at. Or is this one going to get talked about? Is it getting talked about? Because this time they put a lot into it. They put a lot of names into this one.
There was a lot of names into it, but I don't think anything crazy happened. Like, you got to remember, like, everybody in this match is on TV in some way, shape, or form. You have Tasha on NWA. You have Raylan on WoW. Big Swole, Britt Baker, AEW. I mean, Kylie is the only one not on TV per se, but she's a main event player and everywhere she's at.
She's
and then you
got
have
the buzz of TV.
And then you have the rest of the girls who are Impact.
Right.
So, I mean, they were smart and they didn't do anything too crazy because they all got jobs to go to next week. So I think that was a big factor into it. And a lot of the earlier matchups, like you had Britt and Big Swole. I mean, there was Madison and Kylie, but then you had, I mean, you ended up having Tessa and Taya in the main event and stuff like that. So a lot of the matchups that were happening within the matches were people who were comfortable with each other. So
gotcha.
I think it was a little bit safer of a match than, per se, the men's war of attrition that we'll talk about later.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. Do you guys feel that's? Let me go to Nate on this one. Do you feel that's a detriment sometimes when they're like playing it too safe? Because like, we're all on TV, we don't want to go all out because we want to get ourselves fucked up. Can that hurt a match? Could this match have been better had they not? Had these all been non-TV people? Would you say?
I don't know, because a lot of the intrigue of this match, I think, is the style of it.
So I don't know that you need to go like crazy and like do a bunch of big moves for the sake of doing a bunch of big moves. Like, the idea of this match in that you need to work together, but ultimately only one person is going to win. I think that's the story, and that's where a lot of the drama can come from.
Absolutely.
So I don't think you need to go crazy in these matches. Like I enjoyed this one, and I think I actually enjoyed it more than the men's match. And I the men's match was more about moves.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this from a producer standpoint, and I'm like, what do you? And this like, it's a tricky match to. It's not a tricky match to book in sense just from a point A to point B, but it's a tricky match to book in order to get that mileage out of it. And like, what story are you trying to tell from it? And it's like you have to cover a lot of details in order to tell an effective story out of it. But interesting. All right, cool. Very cool. All right, let's move on. Impact Tag Team titles on the line. So did they announce this as an Impact Tag Team title defense?
They did.
Yes.
They did. Okay. So as the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander taking on Space Pirates, Shane Saber, Space Monkey.
No, actually.
No, this was Mark Wheeler actually stepped in for Space Monkey because Space Monkey broke his foot last week.
Oh, okay. All right. So they didn't update that on the results here.
Yeah.
So glad you guys are here.
Whatchamacallit, Space Monkey had his translator on.
But he was there. He was at the show.
He was. Space Monkey was there.
Okay.
Space Monkey had his translator on. Explained
the collar?
what? Yeah, the collar.
Shock collar.
No, it is not a shock collar. That is animal cruelty.
Wait, so this, based on your reaction to that, that's been said before. It's been called a shock collar before.
No.
You're okay. Just checking because you're pretty quick with that response. I'm like,
What,
do
the
people have to
animal
call?
cruel? Well, because he's a monkey. Why wouldn't I say that? What else would I say?
I don't know. I thought maybe people are calling it a shot collar, and a lot of people are defending it and being like, no, not a shot collar.
Well, because it's animal cruelty, and I don't support that.
Okay, fine. Do you eat meat?
I'm an uncle to a cat now.
You eat meat, though, right?
I do eat meat.
Okay, let's move on.
Cows are delicious. Um, not a monkey.
Not a monkey, though. That's for sure. All right.
So Monkey explained that Mark Wheeler was going to take his place. It was a good tag match. I mean, there's nothing like too crazy. North hit their normal spots. Wheeler and Shane probably have teamed together. Do you know of any certain times, Nate?
No, but I'm sure it's if they haven't teamed together, they've wrestled each other 800 times.
Yeah, they know each other really well, but like the tag team dynamic kind of changes because there's a lot of good moves that Shane and Monkey have come up with together. That just kind of fits with the flow of the match. So it was more of like just two guys wrestling the North for the Impact World Tag Team Championships.
Basil, were you and I talking about this? About how
I hate it so much.
When TV companies are like, we're gonna put the titles in the line, it's like, and you sit there and you're like, you're not gonna change them. You're not gonna change the belts.
It's not. It's like okay, you see a title match on a house show, like the probability of that title changing is low, but it's still realistic.
It's realistic, right? Because they've done it. Like they've here and there have done a house show title change to a roster team. But it's like this is not even a roster team. Like, where's the believability that you're gonna,
I can't believe on an indie show that a TV company would allow a title change to happen against somebody who's not on the roster. Like, there's no upside whatsoever to that company.
Right.
But, so, like, here's my thing is I was thinking about this on that Motown Showdown show that Impact had, where, a couple of weeks later, Ace Austin was going to put the X Division title on the line against Trey. You knew that match was going to happen, and on Motown Showdown, Ace defends the X Division title against Dez.
Right.
You have to imagine in your head that the title is not going to change hands.
But at the same time...
And yet, same with the world title, like Sammy put it on the line against Rhino.
Right.
When he has a match scheduled with Tessa.
That's been built and hyped and everything.
Right. And the thing is, if you have an Impact show that comes to town and you don't have any titles on the line, like, people will look at it and say, oh, this isn't that great of a show. Like, there's no championship matches. And so it's sort of a double-edged sword, and I think it's exciting that at Warrior, a place where generally Impact titles are not defended, and if Impact, doesn't come around to Chicago all that often, you get the chance to see an Impact title match.
Right, and that's exactly that leads me to a point. I shared that same thought when Basil and I were talking about it the other day. How it's for that small percentage of people who aren't smart but they can still go away and say, well, I've seen an Impact tag team title match, because I used to get that way during the old Ring of Honor days when they'd have the NWA title. And I remember because the NWA was not a touring entity and it was not a main thing and it was never coming to Chicago, I remember thinking it was a big deal. I was like, oh, cool. I got to see an NWA title defense because it was rare. It's like I don't see that often.
The other thing is that's a potential draw, but you're not going to have people turn down coming to the show because there's going to be a title match with a predictable finish.
Yeah, for sure.
Like nobody's going to look at that card and say, "Oh, the Impact titles are on the line, but I know they're not going to change hands. I'm not buying a ticket."
Absolutely. It just
Yeah,
adds
I don't
to the
think it's
show.
gonna. Yeah, I don't like. It doesn't deter anything away. But like,
Enhances, if anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
it enhances, but it goes back to like, sure, a title might not change on an Impact Plus show or whatever, or not. No, I mean, not necessarily true because even with what you were saying, the North won the titles on a show 2 days before Slammiversary.
That's true.
Right. But beating a roster team, though, that's the crux of the
Well,
difference,
yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's still realistic that it can
Absolutely.
happen,
Absolutely.
but I feel like when you get to that indie level, it's not a realistic thing.
Right. And
That's what I mean. I'm not saying like for those fans that might like believe it, but I feel like for the fans that it's like, okay, we know what's gonna happen in this match, and I don't think it gets fans that invested unless they forget that it's a tag title match.
True. Okay. I mean, in order to keep some excitement, you should change it once. Like, do that. Like shock the fucking world. Like, 'cause you'll get the TV report on it, and they can pick it back up. I mean, they used to, back in the old days in the NWA, they used to do things like that to pop the town. Like,
I want a Taz and Mike Awesome style commercial that pops up on TNN.
No, but the NWA back in the day if you look at the NWA title history, the heavyweight title, there are so many phantom changes that they're not official, but they were done to appease the local audience. I'm not saying don't make them official. I'm saying like maybe once in a while, work it all out, work the long game out, and just randomly change the title. Have it make sense, obviously, but like, talk about the unpredictability you'd get out of that. The mileage you can get out of something like that could be really cool. And it's like, maybe you're bringing the guys in to drop it back at some point or whatever it might be. But I think it could be fun because that shock is what can sell things a little bit. Because then you turn it into like, wow, anything can happen on these shows. Like, I should go to these more often. That stuff is fun, especially if you can create that mystery and that well, maybe, aspect again. And that's something we don't get nowadays. It's hard to get that nowadays.
Yeah.
It could be fun. It could be fun. Obviously, you have to work out the long game. Like, it would have to really be buttoned up and in order to make it work. So, cool. All right, boys. Let's keep going here. Couple more to go. Jonathan Gresham defeats Daga. This was positioned in the semi-main. Oh, how? Yeah, I don't.
Nate
think
ref this one too.
I did.
Nate. All right, so I've never seen Gresham live. Any clips of him I've seen, the guy looks fantastic.
Oh, Gresham is just he's so fluid. Like,
right.
He's the US version of Zack Sabre Jr., but like, he's a little bit more aggressive in my opinion because he's stronger. But yeah, I was so happy to see Gresham. It's been a minute since I've seen him live.
His mask is amazing. I love that mask.
Oh, it's incredible.
I think it's a brilliant.
I got problems with that for sure.
Very cool. Nate being on the inside of the ring on this one. Give me some feedback because I now, was it a fast pace? Like, everything I've seen of Gresham, he's like insanely fast. Daga is more. He's not as like Daga gets labeled as a luchador like wrongly sometimes, but he's not really a lucha style speed wrestler. He's more of a tactical, not even tactical. He's kind of just a standard kind of quick. He's quick, but he's not like lucha quick.
Yeah.
Was this a good matchup? Do you feel like did they do each other justice? Is what I guess I'm getting at.
Yeah. It wasn't fast paced per se. It definitely wasn't like a lucha style match. It was more
Technical.
It was more straight wrestling. And it was really interesting because like some people might say that the finish came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing a series of like pinning sequences with each other,
which are fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it was just at one point Gresham just pins him, and it's like you would think that he would try to out wrestle Daga.
Right.
I think in the beginning they were trying that, but he just sort of surprised him and just rolled him up and was able to clinch it tight. And I loved it. I thought it was great.
Okay, this one I'd be interested in seeing because I wanted to see some more Gresham. I just have not had a chance because I've just seen highlights.
So
and
the pinning,
fantastic.
Yeah, the pinning on this was with the roll around.
So like in the sequence, like the 1-2 kick out, 1-2.
Yeah.
One, like okay.
Yeah.
So one of them finally counted through.
Gresham got the fall on Daga, and Daga was just like in complete shock.
So Nate, as a referee, were you just like, I mean, those are a workout, right? Like you're just 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, back and forth.
Yeah, and at one point they were even rolling around quick, like so quick that I couldn't even get down to count even one.
Yeah, it was getting really fast.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's hilarious. Cool. I do want to see this one. I would like to see. I've just been interested in seeing Gresham. Definitely like to see this.
It's actually all up on iSpots already.
iSpots.com, best $9.99 in the biz.
999.
999.
All right, cool. Very cool. You guys feel that too, though? Like Daga gets mislabeled as a luchador, so to speak, but he's not really a luchador. But I feel like
I remember you saying that. Like he's put in a lot of X Division matches, and it's like he's not really. Yeah, it's not that he can't, but I just wouldn't. He wouldn't be the first person I think, or even the 25th person that I think of when I think of No Limits.
Exactly.
He's in that very middle of it, but when you put him with luchadors, he does wrestle very well. Like he knows how to wrestle their style, but I see him more of an American mat-based wrestler.
Exactly.
Who speaks Spanish.
Who happens to speak Spanish? Yeah, he's
more
Spanish. Of an American wrestler. He's more of an American style, like middleweight.
Even his gear isn't really luchador style.
No, not at all. Like he's
the leather jacket.
Yeah, he's very different in that sense.
Yeah, he doesn't wear normal tights. He has leather tights.
I think it's just, it's that typical mislabeling of like, oh, small Mexican guy. Oh, he must be a luchador. It's like, no, that's not what a luchador is. So it's just it's just one of those stereotypes that people just end up chalking him up to. But I still feel, though, guys, like Daga, I still feel doesn't have quite the identity as a wrestler yet, though. Yeah, I see him on Impact. I'm like, what is he, though? What is he fighting for? He's kind of, he's smaller, but he doesn't wrestle like a small guy. I still feel he doesn't have much of an identity. And I feel, again, just using his TV company as an example, like this is why Impact needs a middle card title or like a TV title or something. It's like a guy like Daga is so undefined in that sense. What the hell do you put on him? Like, how do you elevate him?
And I really feel like with the talent that they have at Impact, a mid-card title would do wonders for them right now.
Absolutely. There's so much that... How else do you elevate a guy like Daga? Like, what do you use? You just match after match. Like, yeah, that's one thing, but that's not gonna build that level building credibility that titles tend to do. And I think...
And I feel like the X Division title's like almost limiting on the type of roster they can have.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like ever since the notion, who was the person? Was Angle the one? Like kayfabe, like Angle was the one to get rid of that rule.
The no limit thing, or
who added the weight limit? Who added that weight limit back in like 2011, 2012?
Oh, I can't remember. I know, like at one point, like Abyss held the title, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I get it's like no limit. And Abyss's twist was like, well, it's no limits. I'm a no limit hardcore guy, but it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, where's the identity for this at this point?
No, but like I feel like they pigeonholed themselves into a certain type of wrestler because I think like the gimmick was to make sure Samoa Joe couldn't win the title again or something.
Oh shoot, I can't even remember that.
Yeah,
But that's
and
interesting.
it was there was some stupid reason to take it away, and then it kind of just made this smaller group of guys. So you have like your cruiserweight division, but then what do you do with all the guys who obviously who aren't smaller or wrestle that style?
Right.
Do in between besides beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. It's tricky. Well, we'll see. I hope they come up with and it's up to Daga too. Part of this is to define this character a bit more, to have something to kind of hang his hat on a little bit. Because I just think he's in a very dead zone of character, and he just needs he needs a producer, somebody who can invest in coming up with something for him. If it's not going to be a title, a mid-card title or something. All right, boys. Let's get in here.
Real quick, guys, I just have to say I just went to High Spots to double check that Warrior Wrestling 8 was still available, and it is. And but also on their like new arrivals deal, like how that the Besties have a interview show on there.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the one with Jake?
Yeah, they have one with Jake something out.
Oh, good.
Jake something.
Oh, it's so good.
I can't wait to watch it.
All right, cool.
It's just like, even though they're not really, none of them are, it's like three Southern boys just talking.
Are any of them Southern? They're not.
No, I mean, Fitchett sounds Southern.
But he's not. He's like from Boston, isn't he? Where's he from?
No.
Oh, he's from St. Louis.
He's from St. Louis.
He used to be billed from Boston at one time.
Yeah, and he had that song from The Departed as his entrance music.
Shipping off to Boston. Oh,
yeah, that's what it was.
Most cliche thing ever, just to say you're from Boston.
The biggest song in 2008.
I love that. Sure. I love that song. Don't get me wrong.
It's your favorite movie, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Departed is my absolute favorite movie of all time, and I have to watch it minimum once a month.
I love it.
Once a month. Holy shit.
Oh, dude, I devote all 2 hours and 45 minutes to that bad boy.
Wow. All right.
I used to feel like a real piece of shit if I didn't watch The Wrestler at least once a week.
Wow.
Once a week?
Holy shit, once a week?
That's a lot of commitment.
It's a great film.
It's a fantastic movie, don't get me wrong, but once a week?
Yeah, I needed it.
Nate, do you also feel like he got cheated out of the Academy Award that year because they just didn't like Mickey Rourke? Like,
they hated everything about. They hated how good that movie was. That's what they hated.
Exactly. They didn't want
Golden Globe.
He got the Golden Globe, exactly, and they fucked because he spoke out against him a while ago. He said some shit, and he was always this Hollywood bad boy, and they fucked him on it. He completely deserved it that year too. I
think it's also they just don't care for wrestling.
Yeah, that's 100% part.
They hated everything. They hated that it was Mickey Rourke. They hated that it was about wrestling, and that they hated how good Mickey Rourke portrayed wrestling to a widespread audience that was easily understandable and relatable to.
Absolutely. I mean, it was literally the fucking Rocky for wrestling, and they fucked it. Like they fucked him out. Like it was brilliant, and they fucked him.
He could have had a Terry Funk return. They fucked him.
It's a great film. Nate, good call, man. I do want to watch that again. Now it's been a while. I saw it in the theater, and I remember making a joke at the last scene, and like you don't get the finish. And I remember whispering to my buddy, and I go, "Fucking gotta get a Dusty finish on this." and he starts laughing uncontrollably, right, at this like insider joke, like to the point where he can't contain it, and people are like, "What the fuck? This is a serious scene in the movie," and like he's just just dying laughing.
Jesus,
I just like. course, you get a fucking dusty finish in this goddamn movie. Like
This
some
whole
shit.
movie.
Like I said it so like bluntly and just a way like if you're in this, you know what I'm talking about. It was great. Great movie though. Good call, mate. Let's watch it together.
Yeah.
I have it on Blu-ray. You know, the Blu-ray has an amazing bonus feature of like a panel. Have you seen this? It's a panel of like Luger and Piper and Sting.
What?
Oh, dude, it's a huge panel. And they're
Movie
discussing.
night at Trent's house.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
brought them. They brought them all in to be consultants on the movie, and they're all like,
Insane.
"It's crazy. It's a
I need to
crazy-
see this.
dude. It's nuts. It's pretty cool. I'll watch it.
Does
All
Luger
right,
about playing softball?
Luger. No, that's Sid with the softball. He talking
Oh,
about
that's right.
My bad.
Sid. No, Luger. This is when Luger, I think, was just like able to go into a wheelchair after the spinal stroke. I think that's. But he's like talking and stuff. But yeah, it was nuts. It was a crazy, huge panel. All right, guys, main event. Let's do it. Right, we got. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. So this was Brian Cage was out of this match because he was injured. So the title's vacant. They market this as you're going to get a new champion, guaranteed.
Yes.
Lance Archer, Frank the Clown. Wait, Frank the Clown was in this? What the fuck?
So the idea was Cage was going to pick his replacement.
Okay.
He was there. He was signing things at FanFest, and he watched the show in the back and picked the person that he thought performed the best out of everybody else on the card.
Okay.
His pick was Brian Pillman Jr.
Okay. Who lost earlier in the night?
He did, but he, I guess, not only earned Bully's respect, but he earned Brian Cage's respect. So he picked Brian Pillman to replace him. And Alex Zane was supposed to be in the match, and he also broke his foot, I think. There's some sort of damage to his foot or ankle.
I think he sprained his ankle.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a full break. But he was not able to compete, and so I forgot to mention this earlier, the Robert Anthony Warhorse match was for the vacant spot in the match.
Okay. All right.
Ego wins, and then says that the Warrior fans don't deserve to get to see him wrestle twice, and gave up his spot to Frank.
Okay, so Frank's in this as a result of that. Okay. That's what I figure out. How the hell did Frank the Clown get into this match?
Yeah, we all were.
Skills. All right, cool. So now this one broke down with this. Now, War of Attrition rules, right? Fall number 1 went to Everett, Pillman, Elgin, and Sam Adonis, beating Aramis, Torres, Frank the Clown, and Lance Archer. With the exception of Lance Archer, I kind of can understand the other 3 being taken out in that first half. But I mean, Archer's a regular, right? A Warrior. I'm surprised. I mean, the other 3 aren't. Oh, Frank is, but he's not championship material.
This is Archer's second show.
Really?
I thought this is his third show.
That's what I thought.
Let me double check, but I know he
Pillman.
Did he work Pillman?
Yeah, he worked Pillman.
I thought it was his third.
He took out Pillman like 2 shows ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then he did Alex Zane.
Yep.
I mean, I guess out of 8 shows, 3 is...
Alex Zane was actually the debut for Archer, and then it was Pillman.
I mean, yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's there. Well, at least 3 shows out of 8.
But Black Taurus, I think, was on the last show too.
Oh, he was.
Black
okay.
Taurus was on the, but you don't really think of them as pillars as you would with Sam Adonis, who's literally been on every show. Pillman has been almost on every show.
Sure.
Right.
Elgin has been a big feature on the last few shows. And then Andrew Everett besides when he was, unless he was injured, he's always been on the show.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So those 4 win. Now the pinfall went to who? Who got the pinfall on that?
Elgin got the pinfall in the 4, but the thing is, right before, Archer like beat the shit out of Everett, and Elgin talked about like each person one by one, and then decided to go with Everett, I think, because I believe he thought that would be the easier person to beat if he got to the finals.
Oh, see, I like that. There is that like tactical aspect you have to think of in there. Okay, that's cool.
That's the interesting thing. You have to pick. You get to pick your partner. So, do you pick somebody who's going to help you win the tag match, or do you think you can handle it all on your own and pick somebody who's going to, like Basil just said, he just got like the shit kicked out of him by Archer, and so do you pick somebody who's health meter is almost all the way down, and do all the work yourself, and then you get an easy picking singles match.
See, that is what makes this match very interesting to me. Like all that, there's so many different aspects to it. That's cool. Like and I've said it a million times. It's such a fresh idea for this day and age in wrestling. It's to have that. And
it showed right then and there that you're not going to always pick the strongest partner.
Absolutely.
Because,
that's cool.
I mean, you had Tessa and Taya together, so.
Now, how much time is between that fall? Like, does Elgin get on the mic and you have like a 5-minute breather while he's like, "Well, I'm gonna."
Elgin got on the mic for this one.
Because Elgin gets on the mic.
There's not regulated breaks. But for this one, I think for the women's war of attrition,
they just did it in the ring really quick.
Yeah, I don't remember them getting on the mic.
No, they didn't get on the mic at all. They pretty much just like talked to the other person really quick in the ring. They didn't do any mic thing, and it was a pretty fast process in the women's side. Men's side took a little bit longer.
Well, Elgin likes to get on the mic and go on a speech. It was a running joke at AEW. It's like Elgin's going to take the mic after his match. Every match. It was the greatest match I have ever had in my career. And it was like every match was the greatest match of his career at one point. To the point we were like taking bets on this if he's going to say it about said match or whatever. But like, all right, greatest match. This was the greatest match I've had in the month of July in my career. Like, I don't know. He loves to get on that microphone. All right, cool. So then it was Pillman and Adonis, Everett and Elgin, and then we had the winners of that, Pillman and Adonis, take that one, and now they face off in a 1-on-1. So. Rough time estimates here, boys. What do you say? Just, this match just went an hour, right?
30. That was, I think it was 30 minutes for the 8-man. And then I want to say it was like 15 to 20 for the tag match.
Okay.
And then 5 for the main event.
So the main was short.
Super short.
Super short. Okay. And the main sees Brian Pillman Jr. beat Sam Adonis, new champion. That's huge for him. I mean, he's young. He's like face of the company. If you listen, he was definitely one of the young faces of the company.
And by the way, Everett took that pinfall.
Wait, Everett took Adonis' pinfall? The
losing pinfall with how Elgin picked the weaker opponent?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it came back to bite him because Everett was Elgin wasn't in the decision.
I think that's a brilliant aspect to this whole thing, is the consequence and that's involved in any decision you make during all this. I think that's really cool. That's just I keep going back to very fresh. It's so hard to pick new ideas, and that's completely a new fresh idea. So that's really neat. So yeah, I mean Pillman Jr. And now thinking back, I listened to Steve on Two Heels and a Face. I guess if you read between the lines, you almost feel like you knew this was going to happen because he was putting Bill Jr. over a lot. And I was like, man, now that I know this happened, it's almost like he was kind of giving you the hint or the Iggy, as they say, that this was about to happen. But I guess I don't know. I mean, it's just us because we know we work in the business. We know how to pick up on those signs. Good match, though, guys. What do you think, Nate? Nate, you didn't referee this one, did you?
No.
This was a Jeremy. Was this a Jeremy?
This was Jeremy. Yes.
This was a Jeremy. Good match, though. Yeah, I mean, this seems like it was long. How was it, though? Action-wise, did it deliver for what it is?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it did. It did deliver really well. Everybody got their shit in this match. There was a lot of good spots, a lot of good high spots. There was like a sequence where all of them were diving out of the ring. There was a spot where Nate, were you out there when I saved the dude from almost dying?
No.
Oh man, one of the cameramen almost died in the show.
Wait.
And I literally had to pull him.
What was the spot?
He almost got doved on.
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
Really?
There was one point where somebody was shit canning somebody out of the ring, and like those camera guys were right up on the apron, and then they had to move a lot.
But they weren't moving.
But they weren't moving. Who were the camera guys?
I don't know. Chris Coit, wrestler for CSW, and then I don't know the other kid.
Okay.
But yeah, I had to pull him by the throat of his sweatshirt, pulled him on the hood, just to save his life because he almost died like literally within a second.
Jesus, look at you, man, saving people's lives, and you got the photo too, I'm sure.
Probably.
Now, did Cage present the belt to Pillman?
He presented it before the match. He gave a speech before the match and relinquished the title, and then was on commentary.
Okay. Did Pillman do that thing where he talks really fast on his promo? Oh, I'm sorry, Cage. Where he talks.
Yes,
of course.
I can't get enough of like how fast he talks and just like trips over himself.
He thinks faster than you can talk.
Yes, that's what it. That's exactly what it is. He definitely thinks way faster than he can talk. Like he wants to get it all. He wants to get all his shit in. GMSI there wants to get all his shit in. And like they even apply.
What does that stand for?
Get my shit in.
Get my shit in.
Does it really?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what it is.
That's where the term. That's kind of where the term. They want to get their shit in. That's like it kind of comes from Cage because get my shit in doesn't refer to wrestling. It's more of like working out.
Yeah.
Because he always used to say, "Yeah, I went to the gym and I got my shit in," and then it turned into like a wrestling term of getting their shit in. So
it's weird when they call him Mr. GMSI. It's like, what, Mr. Get My Shit In?
Yeah.
Mr. Get My Shit In.
Proper man, have some respect.
Sorry. He's injured. Until he comes back, I don't have to respect anything. Come back first, Cage. Then I'll respect you. Then I'm not gonna be scared of you again with those muscles.
He'll still kill you with the one arm.
He will. I know. He's gigantic. He's a gigantic human being. But he's like too. Like I've seen him like vulnerable when he's injured, and he's like, I'm like, oh, just a wounded bird with your broken or your torn bicep. I could take him. Is what I'm getting at here, Basil. I could take the guy.
Oh, we got a little Sammy in there.
Did I? That's what happens.
There's a little bit of Sammy in that one.
Turn to Sammy Callahan when I get excited. Sammy.
Sam Adonis had. Oh, Nate made me do the. Oh wait, no, it was not Nate. Jeremy made me do the Sammy for Sam Adonis.
The Sammy for Sam.
Yeah.
terrible because I wasn't there to do it.
I know. I wanted you to be there with me, but no.
Nope. It was Valentine's stuff. Were there a lot of couples on
Saturday?
It's hard to do stuff on Friday, Nate. You need a weekend day to do it.
I don't know,
Jesus.
man. With all the Impact talent on this show, I was really disappointed that you weren't there.
He's not really a TNA fan. Man.
Wow. This is not, this is signaling the end of the podcast right now. Okay, this is like before you guys insult me any further.
Guys, Trent does not like Impact Wrestling.
Oh my god!
And I'm the editor of this show, so
this is terrible. What you're doing right now is sacrilege. It's
sacrilege.
Sacrilege. It's what the Eastern culture's called haram. The bad stuff.
Haram.
It's the bad stuff, and what you're doing right now, and I'm not gonna stand for it.
I mean, you are sitting, so I mean,
I'm sitting right now. I'm not saying shit. All right, boys, let's. It's late. It's late. We're doing a late night thing. We got the whole show in. We got our shit in. The show's in. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's get plugs in. Nate, where can people find you, book you, tell you how you're an excellent referee, all that stuff?
Instagram and Twitter at Ref Nate Speckman.
Easy. You want to put an email out there too? Well, let him email you for a booking. Come on.
No.
No? Okay, just send him and slide into his DMs. Yeah. Try to get you
Don't book me. I don't want your money.
No, I just want his DMs.
I definitely do want your money.
He wants your money. Give him your money.
Not the email.
Yeah. No, they can slide into his DMs. He doesn't need his email. I
don't know.
Out there.
I'm pretty sure my email's on my Twitter, so.
Most likely. All right, Basil, where can people find you, your photos, schedule, all that stuff?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BZ. That's a B, 2 E's, 4 Z's, and a Y. All my photos at basilmahmud.com, BASILMAHMUD.com. Schedule for the rest of the month, I have AAW on Friday at the Logan Square Auditorium. And after that, I have AEW's Revolution at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois.
All right.
And where could they find you, Trent?
You guys can find me at Vanilla Joke on Instagram and Twitter. Go ahead and follow that. You can find the show at the BSB Show on Facebook and Twitter. And also, I think this is it now. I mean, this is we've been consistent with the pod schedule, and which that means Basil is the Instagram for the BSB Show ready yet.
You see, what has happened was next week.
Next week it is for the Instagram. I can't wait. I'm so psyched for that next week to happen. It's bound to happen next week. So, all right, next week it is, guys. Also, remember you can find the show wherever podcasts are found: Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, YouTube. Rate, review, subscribe. Get a hold of us. Give us all your feedback. We have full show reviews. We're stopping previews, like we said. We talk about everything in Chicago, stuff we go to. We'll even touch on other things too, Impact, a little WWE talk, whatever is stricken, whatever kind of like prompts conversation based on the independent talk we do. We'll kind of relate it to what we're talking about. So get a smorgasbord of a lot of stuff with us. Check out the old back catalog if you want to. It's all up there, guys. Take a look. All on the YouTube page as well. I think that covers everything, guys. We'll be back next week with a breakdown of the Art of War, which is taking place at AAW February 21st at the Logan Square Auditorium. Limited tickets remaining for that one. Grab that. But we'll definitely be back early next week to break that whole show down because you guys like review shows, and we're going to give it to you. Guys, did I forget anything?
No.
Nothing. All right. We are out of here. We will talk to you after the Art of War. Good night, everybody.
Bye.